Hey guys, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning, school holidays, everyone's off to work, and I'm heading down to the ramp on my own. Two boys are still recovering from having their tonsils out a bit over a week ago, so nobody to join me this morning, so we'll go and have a look and see if there's some fish in our local Ross River. Okay, I've just heard a little bit of a flick of a fish in amongst these snags here, so we'll put the DOA prawn in and see if we can't entice him out. Not yet. Okay, using a Stella 1000 here. Very small, very light reel for this sort of fishing, but very comfortable to use. 8-pound braid. Certainly managed to pull some very large fish out of the snags on this. You know, jacks well over 45 centimetres, barramundi, you know, up in the 60s and 70s, easily handled on the 1000 reel. And the Stella really is the pinnacle of spin reels, there's no doubt about it. The new FI Stella's on the way shortly. I'll be trying to get my hands on a 3000 as soon as they're released. I've got my name down for one, and I think that'll be a beautiful reel for working thready busters a little bit deeper around the rock bars and deeper holes for barramundi, finger mark, etc. Not sure yet what rod I'm going to put a 3000 Stella on. Might have to be tempted to try the new Nano rods from Shimano. Very pricey though, so we'll see. A lot of people say that spin reels aren't as accurate as a bait caster for casting around snags, but you can certainly get plenty of control over the line. I don't find them any more inaccurate than a bait caster. Just control the line with a touch of the hand on the spool as it comes off, as you need to. Not that much different really to thumbing the spool on a bait caster. Just got to be a bit gentle, or you'll bring it to a stop very quickly. Something you can do with these DOAs, they're fairly flat on both sides, and if you need to get in undercover, you can skip it fairly easily. Looks a little bit then like a prawn fleeing back into the snags. Prawns tend to flick backwards when they're fleeing, so it can be a nice little wake up for a fish as a prawn flicks backwards into the snags, and DOAs work really well for that. Oh, there was a touch. Didn't take it though. Another shot into there. Certainly a fish came out and gave that one a little bit of a touch up. Not a second go though. Let's try that again. It's got to be there. As you can see, when you're in the current, you are on and off the throttle for the Minn Kota all the time, but I'm sitting here just off this snag, not moving. Our foot controller might be good in this situation where you can work the motor without having to take your hand off the rod. But I think it's a good excuse to give the lure a little bit of a pause anyway, which you should always be doing with barramundi. And that is not a fish. You should never do is use the rod tip to bump a lure off a snag, but it's quick and it's successful, and I do it all the time. Okay, fix him up, we'll keep going. Might just turn the camera around and show you guys the flick of the DOA into a snag. So rod tip down low and something like that. Let's do that again. Not sure if you'll pick it up on the camera, but it does have a little bit of a skip to as it heads towards the snag. Once more. And it stops beautifully just in under the overhang there. Might just put the camera on that snag and see if I can skip the lure towards it. Maybe not the best snag. But that should work. Okay, so once again we just look at keeping the rod tip down nice and low and skipping the DOA along the surface. so that it looks a bit like a prawn fleeing back into a snag. Good little technique. Yeah, it works really, really well to get in undercover, in around snags. Attract the attention of fish with that little bit of a splash. Oh, not like that, that was too low. Okay, once more. No, still starting off too low. Camera shy. Something's going to dive out here in a minute and eat it. Whilst you want it low, you really don't want it hitting the water until just in front of the snag. Yeah, I'm probably just sitting a little bit too close to this snag for it to work. Let's move off a little bit. And yeah, skipped in nicely there under that. Be nice if a fish ate it right about now. Not to be. Okay, so not the most successful morning in the Ross River this morning. Boat's away, back down the side of the house now. Time to give it a hose down and put it away. I just couldn't find the right type of water this morning. The mangroves that I thought might have produced some fish. Once the water dropped back a little bit, there was less than a metre of water around the edge of the mangroves there, and I'd like it to have been a little bit deeper, but that's pretty much the way my fishing's been lately anyway, so who's to say whether the Ross River's any good or not? Certainly not me. So we tried some DOAs, some thready busters, hard body for a little while. Nice to get just a couple of hours on the water though. Okay, till next time.